Okay, so I will create the project in Angular 20. In the last session, I created the project in Angular 19. Due to some CLI, it is not created in Angular 20. So again, I created in Angular 20. Go to the terminal, new terminal, and on here, ng new project name demo. Okay, on here it is saying we want to create zoneless application without zone.js. Okay, this zoneless only you can understand the thing zoneless. We will discuss zoneless later. Okay, when after in application. Actually, zoneless these things is come in Angular 20. Before that it was not come. Okay, in 19, 18, 17 it was not come. Okay, in Angular 20 it come. Okay, so zoneless and mm, if you want to create zoneless application without zone.js or zone.js. Okay, so we want to create the actually we need to create the application in Angular 20. So we want to include art features. So I creating zoneless. This is a feature in Angular 20. Then yes. Okay, then CSS. Okay, if you are server side ending, no. We will discuss in later after create the project. Then enable the SSR for server side entry. For SEO related, we use the server side entry.
Okay.
Okay, now you can see on here. This is a Angular 20. Okay, this is a package on installing Angular 20. Can you tell me what is the difference between dependency and dev dependency?
Mm. Dependencies, it's based on that environment. Dependencies usually for the production.
Correct, correct. Understand. Yes, correct, correct. Dependency is for the production and dev dependency for the development. Correct. Okay, this project is created on here. Okay, so one by one, or we can tell me one only revise purpose. Actually, in the last session, we have not discussed with this folder. Okay, so just 1 second. Okay, this is a extension.json file. Okay, so this extension.json file, suppose that we have some plugin except Angular. If you want to some plugin on here, you want to add some plugin, then you can use this extension.json file. Okay, it's not required for the Angular application. It is used when you are developing extension or plugin.
Okay.
Like either for browser, VS Code, other platform. If you want to use, then you can use plugin related to the third party plugin. You can use for the Angular application. It is not used extension the JSON file. Okay.
Okay, like
Then
Nougat package.
correct. No,
Like
no. This is no
okay.
NuGet package related. This is node module.
Node modules. Okay.
Correct. This is a Angular application. But
Ah,
suppose that if you want to some third party plugin,
okay,
Facebook
okay.
plugin or third party plugin you can want to use, then you can add on here
Okay, okay.
related third party plugin you can add on here.
Okay, okay.
Okay, and
Yeah.
after the launch.json file, it was used for the mainly on here, like on here we have syntax. Like on here, this is a Chrome. Okay, then Chrome it used for the when you do the debugger, when when we add the debugger on here, then suppose that when you run the application in Chrome, okay, then this type is equal to Chrome, then it is used for the debugger purpose only. This is used for the debugger. Okay,
Okay.
and this request colon launch, it used for the session when you start the debugger. When you start the debugger, then start the debugger session request colon launch. Okay, this is for
Okay.
when you run in the Chrome, then start the debugger, and this is start the debugger session. Okay, and this is used for the when you run the application. Okay, then here on here we have mentioned the port 4200. Suppose that if you add on here 425000, okay, then your application run on this port.
Okay.
Your application run on this port. Okay, by
Okay.
default it will run on 4200.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and this is npm start when the run application, and after that this is named ng test. And when you test the application, okay, when you test the application, then run in this is a debugger. When test the application, then add the when run in the application in Chrome, add the debugger purpose. This is the same thing, start the session purpose. When you this is for the testing. Okay, this is for
Okay.
the running. Okay, run the
Okay.
application ng serve. Okay, this is a ng test. Same things on
Okay.
here. Type
Okay.
Chrome launch test URL. This will run on this URL. Okay,
This for this command, ng test. What is the command? Like ng serve,
yeah,
ng
this is
test.
this is ng test for the testing purpose.
What will happen? Ng test means what
Actually,
will happen?
when you run the when you test the application, suppose the ng serve, okay, then run the
Okay.
application. When you ng test, then the testing I run. Suppose that I test on here terminal. Okay,
Okay.
new terminal. We have normal. Okay, go to the folder, because code inside my demo folder, then
Oh,
cd demo. Okay, then ng test. Yes. Okay, this file is like this. It will create the application. On here should render title, should create the application. On here you can test. Okay, on
okay.
click on these things. Okay, click these things. On here we have write the some method. This will save the data. Okay, run one
Okay.
up to test, run all. So here on here debugger.
Okay.
These things you can write on here. When you write the code and add the debugger, then one by you can test on here. How many files? This is two test cases on here. Zero failure, random with is the second. Okay. Same things when you run in a test in X unit in the C sharp. Okay, unit in the C sharp. Same thing. You can check on here. This in the console. It will come on here. Chrome execute 2 by 2 success. Okay, some of the test cases did you page load from success. All things is coming on here. What happened on in the test case. So do on here. We have the like this is a page. Okay, this is okay. This is port. This port it will run. This port on this run. Okay, this port on run, and when you write some code, then we can test on here. Okay, after we have create the some feature or create form, then we can test. Okay,
Okay.
these things you can test like this. You have add multiple form, and give the input on here. Okay, give the
Okay.
input on here, and you can test is it success or not. This for this we have created the one another file, spec file. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, control C, control C, then okay, close. Okay, when you not close this pop-up, you can do control C, then close these things.
Okay.
Okay, then understand the launch.json file, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
After that, we will talk about the task.json.
Okay.
Actually, task.json, suppose that when we want to mainly use for the main purpose, then you run automatically run, build and test all things you can do. Then you can add all things in the task.json file. Like you can add all things. It will automatically handle development, unit test, and build. Build, run, and test. You can all code on here manually if you want to add on here. Uh, like on here, you can check. This is a task. Okay, on your task, this is a one task. This is another task. Then we have two tasks on here. Second task is a testing. Okay, for the testing, automatically test when you uh, do the F5, and on here this is a for the uh, npm start for the run. Okay, so like okay, on here we can run, and on here we can test. Okay, on here we can build. There is a three things we can define on here: build, test, and run. It can You can assign and do the F5. F5, F5. This is F5. Okay, if I do the F5, okay, just I do the on here F5, F5. You don't have extension for the debugging JSON with the comment. Should we find the JSON with the comment extension? Comment extension in the marketplace. Mm, everywhere. Okay, this is used for the mainly used for the okay. The three things you can assign, and you can run F5, then automatically test, run, build all things on here. Mainly this
Okay.
file used for this purpose. Okay, there is three file extension launch JSON in VS Code. Okay, after that we have all things we discussed. Angular create the in on here no things. All this is for the build purpose only, and this is on here we can build the application on here. This folder we go on this. This is node module for the public repository. Okay, this is a this is a image file. Okay, favicon. You can in last session all things we will discuss, correct?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, these things we have not discussed. Actually, edited config is used for the code standard. You can write line editing. Suppose that key on here, quote, single quote, set, identity style space, identity size to final new line true. This is the code standard. Config file for the coding style, different editor. These things on for the how to write the coding in strict set, identity style, identity size, final new line, and white space for the strict. Strict that ts file, code style, and these things, and strict.md max line length, trim traveling white space. These things .ts and strict. There is a three keyword. Okay, single strict, then do these things. Strict.ts, then quote style and types double quote. Strict.md, then use for the max line length and trim tabling white space. Okay, this is its standard in whole application. Did you
Yeah.
know what we will discuss in the last session? Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Did you know you can understand in last session, correct? And package and package log digestion you can understand in the last session. Readme file also we discussed in the last session. Okay. On here we have confusion tsconfig.app.json, tsconfig and tsconfig.species file. We need to understand. Okay. On this file you need maybe some confusion.
Mhm.
Actually, this file uh, tsconfig.app.json file is used for the application purpose.
Mm.
Your application types की setting for your application source code. This is all. This is setting tsconfig.app. App means application. .json. This is related to the source code. Source code related setting on here. Okay. ts.config. This is a ts.config. This is a base type of setting for the whole project.
Okay.
Okay. Base setting. tsconfig.json used for the base setting, base typescript setting for the whole application, whole project. Okay. And uh, ts tsconfig.spc.json file, using this file using for only for the test purpose. This file only for the test purpose. Okay.
Okay.
And this file you can understand angular.json. This is used for the CLI.
Mm.
When you create the component, when you create the pipe, when you create the service directive module, something you can create through the CLI by the angular.json file. Okay, then you can understand the structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now we'll start directive. No, sorry, directive, sorry, data binding. Okay, so on
Okay.
here we have some commands. Suppose that key how to create the data binding. Then ng means angular. Okay,
Okay.
g means generate. Okay, data binding, we have created the component. Okay, I create the component for the data binding. For the testing we have created the how to data binding work in the data binding. Okay, I create the ng generate component and data component name data binding, data bind data binding. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, can you see my notepad?
Yeah.
On here, yes, I remove the things. Okay, we will talk about the data binding. So then, data binding is a mechanism. Okay, it is a mechanism to bind the data value to HTML DOM. Okay, for the HTML DOM, it is mechanism to bind the data value to HTML DOM. Okay, from TS to HTML. How to bind data from TS to HTML? There is a types of data binding. Types of data binding. One is a interpolation. Interpolation. Okay. Second is a property binding. Property binding. Third is a event binding. Okay. And fourth is a two-way binding. Okay. Interpolation syntax in the TypeScript, then you can write on here double curly braces. Okay. This syntax on for the interpolation. For the property binding, we have add the syntax like this, big bracket. And for the event binding, this is a click event. Inside bracket, we have write the click. Okay. And
Okay.
two-way binding, we have write double bracket, big bracket, small bracket. Inside this, we write the ng model. Okay. This syntax for four things: interpolation, this syntax; property binding, this syntax; event binding, this syntax; and two-way binding, this syntax. Okay.
Okay.
Then go to the code. How to do, how to implement these things.
Okay.
I go to the page. Where is my page? Okay. What is the error? Okay. Sorry. Actually, this error. Why this error is coming? Can you tell me?
That CD space demo.
Correct. Correct. Demo. Okay. Then again generate data binding. Okay. On here we have created the four file. Okay. But first file is a testing purpose SPC file. Second file TS file. Third file CSS file. Fourth is a HTML file. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the a folder, and on here we have checked the four file data binding.css file. On here we write the CSS. On here we can write the HTML. On here we write the testing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All things that are related to the testing. Data binding. On here we write the logic for the all things for the HTML related things on here. Like you can see in the MVC controller and view. Then data binding this HTML, this is a view, and data binding that is this is a controller. Like these things you can understand. And before that, we will talk about the standalone. Uh,
Mm.
you know the standalone? Any idea?
No.
Okay. Actually, before the standalone, we have the module with module based application. Okay. So
Mm.
in this case, we have created the module, and inside the module we have created the component. Okay. So component dependent on module. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then when standalone has come, then no need to have module. Then standalone independent. no dependent into another. Suppose that we have created the two component or three components. Suppose that we have created the one page is a dashboard. In the dashboard we have like I give the example in the last session. Suppose that we have three, one for the news, one for the uh, one for the cricket, one for the temperature. So there is a three component. Okay, there is a three component is independent. Okay, so
Mhm.
on here, if you need three component in fourth component, you can register in the fourth component. In this place, we have no need to module. Suppose that in the case of module, then first register this component in the module. Then you can use that module in the another module. Suppose that I give the non-technical example. Suppose that we have two parents. Okay, two parents have four child. Both have four child. Then if one child go to ask some question to another parent child, then first go to the his parent, and parent go to the uh, mm, another parent and go to the child. This hierarchy was come in module based architecture. But in the standalone architecture, direct you can ask question to the another child. Means on here no dependency on module. Remove the module in the Angular 20. Actually, module remove in the Angular 16 also, but completely not remove on here. On there, um, uh, some you can write some syntax standalone false, some syntax we can. But Angular 19 and 20, from the Angular 19 standalone module is completely removed and standalone is come. Okay, so on here, if you do stolen on, if you don't need to stolen on here, then on here write syntax stolen on false, stolen on
Standalone.
false. Okay, then this page is a is for module base. Okay,
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
page for the module base. If you can not add on here, this page for the stolen on. Okay, so this import syntax for this when create the application for, when create the page stolen on, then you need to add import. In the import section you can add the all components. Uh, suppose that we have created the data binding. Okay, I go to the another component on here. If that this is also we have component. Okay, also on here root. Okay, we want to add data binding component on here. Then we need to add first add uh, import data binding. Okay, and you can add on here import section. In the import section you can add on here. But in module base you can this all things in the module, not on here, not component. Okay, all components, modules, pipes, directives, ABCD, all things you can register in the module. All all permission has um, module has all permission. Okay, in module based application, but in the standalone application, all permission has component.
Not getting.
Actually, we have on here. Just I go to the notepad. Standalone. Okay, I just give the things on module module base. Okay, why module less. Okay, there is a two things.
Okay.
Module base be all component be 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 register all component in module. Okay, in the module. This is a in the module base. Just cut on here, and this is a module list. And in okay, and in module list, all component we register all component in component in which that component is using component. Okay, component base we register all component in module. Okay, and in component list, so we register all component in component in which suppose that key on here, we suppose that key in the on here, this is external. Okay, then I register data binding component in app component. This is app component. Okay, but in the module base, we have registered. I am not registered on here. We have registered the I on there. We have created one more file. This is a module file. Okay, on there we have registered the component, all things components. I register on there, not register on here.
This is
Okay,
routing file, right?
no,
TS app.is.
on their module. Actually, we have one more. I will check the. I have some maybe some another module based application. Uh, mm, okay, I need to difference. Just I check 1 second.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, on here we have read the JSON. Okay. Let I share one more file. Not Google. Go to the Google. Then Yes. Go to the Google Open Directive. Can you share my screen? Okay, on here.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So on here, I show in the structure. Okay. Actually, I have no code. So I will check how to work on here. Okay. Suppose that on here we have public.module.ts file, and on here we have two component, home and about. Then home and about we need to register on here public.module.ts file. Okay. Suppose, and after that this feature public we want to use in uh, suppose we want to use in user module. Okay, then first register public module.ts file on here, user.module.ts file. We need to register public.module.ts file in user.module.ts file. Okay, on here we need to register. After that you can use home and about in the profile file, profile and setting component. Okay, so you have created the profile and setting. You all component you can register in the user.module.ts file. Means this is a parent, this is a all things child. If you do anything, if you create anything, you need to register on here. You need to register in the module.ts file. Okay, home and about, this is a component, create, and you need to register on the public.module.ts file. Okay,
Yeah.
but in the standalone, this things is removed. In the standalone, this things is removed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, public.module.ts file, user.module.ts file, all things is removed on there. Okay, this is a module based architecture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, also on here set.module.ts file, on here the core module.ts file. This all things removed in the standalone module less application. Okay, this is a
Mm-hmm.
module based application, and after remove this is a module less application. On there all work in the component. Okay, understand these things?
Yeah.
Okay, then go to the on here. Now close this page, don't save. Close, close. Okay. Okay, now start on here. Data. Okay, this you can understand these things. Types of interpolation. Type
Yeah.
okay. Then these
Yeah.
things I am implementing in the HTML application.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I write on here E and data. Sorry, data binding box. Okay. On your right, first is P4 H4. Okay, on here interpolation. Okay, so write on here the right product name. Okay, colon. Okay, this is a interpolation. This syntax for the interpolation.
Okay.
Okay, so then I will do one things on there. Okay, this thing you can understand on here component. This is a component. This is a plugin. Okay, this come from the angular.code from the node module. Okay, this is registered in the package.json file on here. Package.json file on here. This file all things is registered in the dev dependency. You can check. Okay, angular, this build, CLI, compiler, JSON. Okay, these things, this all plugin come from the here angular CLI. And this is a selector. Okay, this is selector. This used in another component. Okay, suppose when you add copy these things and go to the app component, I remove these things on here. Okay, then copy and on this. Okay, this is a selector. Okay, you can use
Data binding.
correct. This is a selector. Through this you can add component, one component to another component. You can show
Mm.
this is app through the selector. This is a selector.
Mm.
We will talk about the directive. Actually, these things actually you have confusion. These things is a directive. This is a
Okay.
component directive from
Okay.
here because this is a class. All application based on the class. Okay. Above this class, suppose that in the we will talk about the API, web API. Above the web API, you write the HTTP post, HTTP get, HTTP put, delete, something you can write, correct?
Mm.
Inside the root, you can pass the parameter, okay, object or something, query string, something different type, okay. Based on that, all method perform because all method is same, okay. Based on the attribute, better the okay. Based on the attribute, this will work for the get, for the post, for the delete, something, okay. Same things on here. This is a right. You can say attribute. You can add on here. This is a component based directive. Okay, I will talk later if you have some confusion in detail. I will talk in directive. Okay, this is a for the import for the when you register another component on here, then you can add on here import section. In the import section you can add. This is used for the this is HTML binding on here. This is a HTML file plugin on here. Okay, this is style you can bind on here. Okay, so now product name is equal to laptop. Okay, then copy and go to the HTML and paste on here. Correct. Then ng first ng build. Ng build you can write complete syntax on here or ngb. This error is coming. Router is not used in the template array. Okay, so go to the on here app component.ts file, app component app.ts on here. It is saying this is not using anywhere. If not using, then you can remove or now. Okay, this is a build. Now you can serve ng serve. By default, it will run the port number. Which port number it will run by default? Can you tell me?
Which that mentioned in the Tanglet.json.
On here, launch.json file
Okay.
4200. Correct?
Okay.
This will run and go. Copy URL and come on here. You can see my screen browser. In the browser, you can see.
Yeah.
Okay. So on here, data binding, interpolation, production, product name is laptop.
Mm.
Okay. This come
Okay.
from the interpolation.
Mm. Okay.
Uh, okay.
Mm.
Then next point is we will talk about property binding. P, yeah, H4 property binding. Okay. On here we have this syntax for the property binding. Okay. Big bracket. You can see in the notepad. This is a property binding. Okay. This is a big bracket. So then you can
Mm.
check on here also. Okay. This is a property binding.
Okay.
Now you can check value in the browser. This is a property binding. On here value we have laptop.
Mm.
Value is a we have defined the value on here. Okay. This is a laptop. So value on there we are showing. This is a product name value set on here. Value is a laptop on here. This is a property binding. Okay. Next is we will talk about the data event binding. Binding. Then like on this is a event. Okay. Like you can write on here input or you can write button. Okay. Button inside button we have click event. So alert. Okay.
Mm.
Click me. Okay. And this
Okay.
click event you can write in the TS file. In the class, inside the class, we have write the function show alert. Show alert, the press is close, and then go to the browser on here. You can click the okay button clicked. Correct?
Mm.
One is a interpolation, second is a property binding, third is a event binding. Correct?
Mm.
Understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we will talk about the last is a data binding or two-way binding.
Mm.
Okay. S4 two-way binding. Okay. Then this syntax for the two-way binding.
Mm.
This syntax for the two-way binding.
Okay.
On here, suppose product name. Okay. Product name and what the error? ng model. Okay. Actually, it is saying that cannot bind the ng model since it is not a property of the input. So for it, we need to one plugin we need to add on here. which plugin on here we need to add on here, import on here this ng module add inside the form module, okay, form module, sorry,
The imports, I think. Yeah.
yeah, form module. What is here?
I think in the imports we will add.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
But again, this error is coming. Has no respective member form module. Did you mean form module? Okay, angular.form in here. Okay, so we need to form module on here for it for two-way data binding. For this syntax, we need to append form module. Then go to the browser. Okay, this is a two-way binding. Then you write on here del. Okay, all place will change. Can you see? All place will laptop because this is a two-way binding. Understand?
Yeah.
Interpolation, property binding, event binding, two-way binding. Okay, this is a data bindings on here. You have confusion on here any?
No.
Okay. And you can see all things, you can understand this how to work, and the all things HTML show on here. Okay, app.html, this app.html on here, and app.html, how to bind app.html file. Suppose we need to discuss some pages on here. I only discuss the related external file. Okay, we need to discuss inside the src folder also.
Okay.
Okay, so in the src folder I have created the data binding, understand. Okay, app.cs, app.html, app.cs file, and app.ts, you can understand the same CCJ component. But I will talk about the main.ts file. Okay, this is a main.ts file and index.html file. This is a main file. Okay, when you run the application, then main.ts and index.html, this file will run. Okay, then main.html file. This is a this is a plugin from the bootstrap application. This is a bootstrap application. This is a function, not for the, like you can understand. This is a CSS bootstrap. Okay, CSS in the bootstrap CSS, correct? Don't understand. This is a function in. This is a render the whole application. Okay, bootstrap application. On here we have passed the parameter. One is a component. This is a app component. This is a app component. Okay, this is a app component. This component. This component we have passed, and another thing is app config. App config. We will discuss in the app config. Okay, so in the module-based architecture, this file was not come. Okay, but in standalone in application, this file come. When come standalone, then this file has come. Okay, so in this file, one by one I'll discuss. This is for the routing. Suppose that we have multiple pages, one page to another page. go, then this plugin, for that we can use this plugin, Angular \router. Okay,
mm,
and this file is a custom file. On here we have registered all these pages. All pages we need to register on here. Suppose that we have created the 10 pages. Okay,
mm, mm,
in the application we have created the dashboard, home page, content us, all pages we can register on here. Okay, this is main page. When you create any page, new page, then you can need to register for the redaction. You can show in the HTML, then you can register on here. Okay, this line you can understand, this line you can understand. Okay, this both two line for the routing, two line for the routing. Okay, after that, this is application config. This is a Angular file. This is Angular file is inherited from the plugin. But inside the plugin, we have provider. Provider like is a service. Provider, you can understand the provider. You, okay, this is like this syntax. You can understand the service. Inside the service, we have multiple things you can add on here. Multiple. You can pass multiple parameters. You can pass on here. First parameter is saying the for if any global error is coming, then you can pass for this. This is used for the global error. Okay, mainly used for
okay.
the global error. And this is for the zoneless. Okay, we will I tell when you create the application, that time uh, zoneless, are you creating the zoneless or zoneless application, that time will come. Zoneless, I have created the zoneless application, so that time provide zoneless change detection. Okay, we need to zoneless change detection. Okay, so I add on here. And provider, this is a routing. For the routing, we can add on here provider router route. For the redirection, we have menu, then one page to another page. For that, we can add on here. And after that, we will talk about the authorization. Okay, authorization or interceptor or different things. All things we need to register on here only. No other place we can register. All things you can register on here only. Okay, suppose that you have write the interceptor. Don't know, understand, you don't know interceptor or auth authentication how to create. Okay, then
Mm,
I will tell you later how to create the authentication or interceptor and how to register on here. All things related, all another information related security, all things. Then you can register on only here. Pass the
mm,
comma and add on here. Okay,
mm.
and this file register on the main file. main.ts file. On here you can pass on here. Okay, this file run on here. Understand?
Okay, why we, I mean, standalone, I mean, it is standalone and module based and moduleless, right? I mean, in which in example where do we use standalone and where we don't use standalone? I mean, in real
Okay,
time example.
okay. नहीं, actually in real time example, when you want to use standalone, when you not use standalone, when you use module based application, when to use module less application. Okay,
Ah,
this is question here.
yeah, yeah.
So actually, if you if you go with the if we go together with the Angular. Okay, suppose that first Angular 2, after 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20. After that 21, 22. Not fixed how many version will come in further. So, and if we want to implement all new feature related Angular will come in future with new version, then will work with Angular parallelly. Suppose that
Okay.
your application is Angular 15
Mm,
and also Angular is working version is latest version 15, then is okay. After some time, Angular 2 year, 3 year, Angular 20. If you want to use new feature in Angular 15, it is not possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Then you have to go to Angular 20. Okay. So
Okay.
if you want to not you if you want not latest feature, then you can go to the module based application.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go to the latest feature, then you can go to the standalone application with Angular.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
As Angular say, you can do. Angular come 21, you go 21. Angular
Mm-hmm.
go 25, you can go 25. But together, Angular, let's go with the Angular.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Then your question is clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now this file you can understand main.ts file and app.config.ts file.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. On here, this file you can understand. This file understand index.ts file. This is a file for the app root. This is a selector. This selector
Mm-hmm.
where is assigned. Go to the main dot app.html. App.html on here. This is a app root. Okay. This
Mm-hmm.
file render on the index.html file. This file rendering in the on here. This selector render on the index.html file. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Only this is a index.html. This is a state file. This will run first time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And after that main.ts style. This style.css file. This is a global CSS. When you suppose that you have some button related CSS, some text bar related CSS, some form related CSS. Okay, some common CSS which if you want to apply in whole application, then you can add that CSS in the style.css, and this style.css you can add in the angular.json file on here. This is a global file.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you want, suppose that on here style.css file. If you want create another ABC file, okay, then you can create on here and register on here. This is
Okay.
globally file. And if you don't want create the global file, if you want to create the CSS private, then go to the component on here. You can write CSS. This is CSS only apply on the that component only. Okay.
Okay.
Then maybe you can all things you understand in the SRC folder, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now we will talk about the directive. Okay, will be okay.